Hi guys, welcome back to Colby's Coasters. Today I'm going to be doing a review video, and I'm going to be doing a couple of these on like amusement parks or theme parks. This review video is going to be about Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. This theme park is not the biggest, but it's also not the smallest. It's not like humongous like Cedar Point or Kings Island, but it is a very nice small theme park with a water park attached to it, which is Splash and Safari. So I'm going to be reviewing Holiday World and its coasters and ride it has to offer. So first I want to talk about their wooden roller coasters. The Raven, the Legend, and the Voyage are their three woodies. Raven and Legend are two CCIs, which are very decent rides. And the Voyage is a massive gravity group. About Raven, they did a lot of good profiling. They did retracking like 5-6 years ago on that turnaround over the water, and it's still janks you around, but it is smooth, pretty smooth. But the laterals on Raven are very strong, and it does have some potholes on it, like that hill after that first drop. It does bounce you up and down a little bit, so just watch out for those jerky parts. But the best part is that big drop into the terrain, where it goes into that like second half. That's like the best part, because you get a mix of lateral G-force with some positives. That's like the best part of Raven. And then you it is definitely a short ride, but you kind of just slowly go into the brake run. That's like the cool part, because it's like wee, and then you like slowly embank into the brake run. But the ride is a little janky because it is one of the first CCI wooden coasters. It's only 80 feet tall and the drop is 85 feet. And the Raven is one of the best wooden coasters I've ridden. The Beast at Kings Island, iffy on that. I've kind of gained those coasters between each other. And the Racer versus Raven, Beast versus Raven, they're all pretty good. So, and Mystic Timbers versus Raven. Ooh, all those rides are really good, so it's hard to think where should I put them in my rankings? High, low, above each other, lower than each other. Now we're going to talk about the Legend. This other CCI, which is even crazier than Raven, has that crazy helix that slams you to the side. I'm warning you all. It does slam you to the side a lot. So brace yourself when it's turning. It's not very banked. And then you kind of do some dips, but it is very janky, so it's like, ooh. And then those two camelbacks before it are very rough, so it's like, ooh. You get some good ejector airtime on those two hills. And that first drop, GCI actually retracted it recently, 2019. It is definitely running smooth, but that turn, after that first turn, it's it goes up and it slams you to the side, and then it goes down into that valley, into that hill under the water park. You can actually get a little sprinkle of water when you go down that third hill into those two camelbacks on that valley. You do get a little sprinkle of water from one of the water slides, which is kind of nice because it was hot when we went. So it was ooh, it's refreshing. Just the laterals and positive G-forces on Legend, like Raven, are crazy. Just watch out for some potholes on Legend. There are a lot of potholes on it, so watch out. Especially on those two camelbacks on the bottom of them. It does start to jank you around. And then when you go into that tunnel after the second camelback, it does slam you down into your seat, so it can be a little rough on some parts. Now, we're going to talk about the Voyage. The Voyage is this massive gravity group wooden coaster. They did a lot of retracting on it this year, so it's running amazing. That 159-foot climb into that drop is crazy. You get a good view of the park, a good view of Santa Claus, Indiana. And then you go into those two camelbacks. You get a very good floater airtime. And then this is where the first part of new track is, on that second camelback into that tunnel, into that third camelback, which is basically like an unbanked hill. And it turns you slightly. It will toss you to the side a little bit. And then goes into the tunnel, and that's where the new track ends. It goes into the old, not oldest track, but it's still a very janky track. So when you go over that fourth hill, it does kind of bounce you a little bit. So watch out for that. And there is potholes on Voyage. After that triple down, after the mid-course, it does tend to toss you around a little bit. But then on that valley on the very bottom of the triple down, it does tend to kind of shake you around. So watch out for that part. That part's definitely the roughest part on Voyage. That Spaghetti Bowl section on Voyage is the best part of the entire ride. They did retracking on it on those two bank turns, and when you go into that tunnel before the mid-course, they did all that retracking. They did not retrack any of the second half, so it is a little shaky. When you go into that tunnel almost under the station, it's like, ooh, and then you kind of like, woo! And then this is the part where it catches you off guard. You go into that tunnel almost under the path, and then it's like, whoa, what is happening? And you kind of dip up, and then you can go to the brake run. We only rode 4 out of the 6 coasters at Holiday World because Good Gravy had like an hour and 15-minute wait, and Howler, which is obviously a kids coaster, so you don't really need to ride it. And also, forgot to mention, Thunderbird. Thunderbird is this wing coaster, and it's right next to Voyage and Good Gravy. It is kind of tucked away from the park. It's kind of in the back of the park, so it will be hard to find. Thunderbird's launch is like crazy. It's not out of this world, but it is kind of crazy. So you're just sitting there, and then you see all the lights flicker, and you hear the sound, and then you go, pew! It's kind of like Flight of Fear's launch at Kings Island, where it's like, woo! You kind of just slam back. Those restraints don't tighten as much as they should, but in a good way, so you don't get stapled. Gatekeeper at Cedar Point and Valraven at Cedar Point do staple you with those harnesses, and Banshee at Kings Island staple you with those harnesses because it's so tight to where they suck down on you, and they tend to kind of staple you into your seat. Good Gravy and Howler are the 2 family kind of rides, so we didn't really need to do them because they're family coasters. But Holiday World does have free drinks, which is nice, so you don't have to like buy a souvenir cup. You just get a cup and then get a drink from the drink stand. The one that we went to is the one by Thunderbird, the little drink stand. The water is very good, but sometimes all the drinks do get a little watery because it was so hot. There's so many bugs flying by them. They do get a little watery. They do get them all new and refreshed, but it is really refreshing to get a drink, so stay hydrated when it's always hot. It's always hot outside. So that's my review on Holiday World, and I'll have more reviews. I'll probably make a playlist of them all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace out.